Here it is spring/summer, and that means you're almost certain to see some sort of picture of a magnolia flower on Weekly 50. And I'm happy to tell you, I'm not going to disappoint you. And here we are again. This is a magnolia flower that I captured. I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Ready? Yes, it's at Theta Pond, or rather right near Theta Pond on the OSU campus. It is so cool to photograph these things. They are huge. They're like the size of a dinner plate. And that means you don't need special gear to get a great photo of these magnolia flowers. You have these bright centers. I know nothing about the anatomy of a flower, but whatever the center thing is called, it's got these bright reds and yellows, and you got these white flower petals around it, and it's really cool if you can get something in the background. And that's what I try to do here. This is actually the third, I don't know, I took a couple of magnolia shots, and if you want to see the others, you can click on this photo if you're on the Weekly 50 actual website. If you're on YouTube, you have to click on the link to the website, and then from there, click on the photo. It'll take you to my Flickr account where you can see a couple other photos that I shot right around the same time I shot this one. But I like this one the best because it's not just a magnolia flower. There's a foreground, subject, background, and then deep background. All those layers together make a much more interesting photo, and it seems like you're peeking in on something. Like you're kind of I don't know. Like you're looking in on a hidden world here. We've got these 2 petals in the foreground, which are blurry, but they're out of focus, but they help give a sense of context and place. And it's not just the center of the flower that we see, it's the fact that it's tucked away, like hidden in this little safe cocoon, not just a bunch of pretty colors, but it like creates a story, it creates a feeling. At least it does for me. When I see this, I get this feeling of safety and security that I don't get if it's just a picture of a flower. I also like the background and how that turned out. And to do this, it's pretty simple. Just point your camera upward when you're taking pictures of a tree, especially a flower in a tree like this, on a bright sunny day. And that's what you see here. You see the leaves of the magnolia tree, the greens and the yellows, and then the spots where there's like bright patches of sunlight, like on the top right, that's just the sun poking through. And on the left is just an open patch of sky. I think I used a +4 close-up filter on this just so I could get a little closer, but I shot it at a relatively small aperture. I think it was like 4.8 or 4, it was between 4 and 5, I think. And I did that so I could get the flower, the center part of the flower, really sharp. If you use a bigger aperture, you get a more interesting blurry background, but then your subject is not quite fully in focus, and it's also not as sharp either. So this was, you know, of all the magnolia flower pictures I've taken, this is one of the more interesting ones, I think, because there's a lot more to it than just a picture of a flower. It creates, I wanted to create a feeling with the viewer. And I hope it does for you. I hope it creates a feeling or conjures some emotions that you might not otherwise get just by looking at any random picture of a flower.